the distress signal in the quiet darkness of deep space. The small human outpost of Epsilon 7 floated among the stars, peaceful and still. Commander Lena Harris stared at the glowing screen in front of her, her brow furrowed. Something unusual had appeared on their sensors. A faint signal pulsed through space, repeating again and again, urgent and strange, unlike anything they had ever detected before. The scientists in the control room whispered among themselves, their faces pale. The signal was coming from a nearby star system, and it was a distress call. Dr. Ravi Patel, the lead scientist, leaned forward, adjusting the frequency. "It's alien. I can't believe it. They're asking for help. But why?" The aliens were known as the Zilla, a species that had never caused humans harm. Weak and isolated, yet their voice now sounded desperate, almost afraid. Lena's hand hovered over the console, tension running through the room. Do we respond? Or do we wait and see? The debate was fierce. Some officers argued it could be a trap. Others said leaving the Zilla alone could mean disaster for them. Time ticked by slowly. The signal pulsed faster, as if the sender knew something terrible was coming. The Human Council decided to send a small scout ship, the Horizon, to investigate. Pilot Mark Sloan checked his systems, his eyes hard but nervous. He had faced danger before, yet this felt different. "Keep your eyes open," Lena warned him. "We don't know what's waiting for us out there. This could change everything." The Horizon jumped into hyperspace, leaving the calm of the outpost behind, stars stretching into lines as the ship vanished. Back at Epsilon 7, the crew waited anxiously, watching every blip on the radar, every sign of the unknown. Hours passed, slowly, and then the Horizon reappeared on the screen, its signal weak and broken. Mark's voice came through, shaky. "Commander, it's worse than we thought. The Zilla, their planet, is under attack." The screen showed broken images of burning cities, alien ships falling from the sky, and the Zilla fleeing in panic. Lena felt a chill run down her spine. The Zilla were defenseless, and the attackers were too powerful to fight alone. She looked around at her team, all silent, their eyes wide with fear and awe. The calm of the stars was gone, replaced by the threat of war. Dr. Patel analyzed the images. The attackers are not Zilla. They are larger, stronger. This could destroy everything in this system. The distress signal had been a call for help, a warning, and now humanity had to decide, act or watch from the safety of space. Lena's voice was firm, cutting through the tension. "We are not bystanders. We will help them. Prepare the fleet. We leave in 12 hours. Excitement mixed with fear filled the room. Humans had never faced this scale of alien threat before, and no one knew if they were ready. The Zilla, though weak, looked at humans with hope, a species they had never trusted before, but now desperate for help. As the fleet began preparation, the stars outside seemed darker, heavier, as if the universe itself was waiting. The first alien ship, badly damaged, appeared in orbit around the Zilla homeworld, its hull scarred and burning from inside the ship. The alien leader's voice crackled through human translators. "Help, or all is lost. They are coming." As silence fell over the human command, the gravity of the situation sinking in. Humanity was about to step into a war it had never imagined, and in that moment, Lena realized the arrival of humans could change everything, for the Zilla, for the attackers, and for the galaxy itself. The arrival of the threat, the human fleet moved silently through space. Ships gleaming under distant stars. Commander Lena Harris stood on the bridge of the flagship, Aurora, eyes fixed on the sensors, waiting for the Zilla distress coordinates. The Zilla homeworld appeared on the screen, a small planet scarred by fire and destruction, cities burning, and smoke rising into the thin alien sky. The alien survivors floated in orbit in tiny escape pods, terrified and desperate, waiting for help they never thought would come. Dr. Ravi Patel analyzed the data from the damaged Zilla ship. "Commander, they were attacked by a fleet larger than anything we have seen before. Their weapons are advanced, deadly." Lena frowned. How did a weak species like the Zilla get noticed by such a force? Mark Sloan, the pilot, added, "Whatever they are, they're fast and organized. This is not a random attack, it's an invasion." The human officers shared uneasy glances, their confidence wavering. The calm certainty of space was gone, replaced by the threat of a mighty enemy. The Zilla leader appeared on the holographic screen, weak but determined. "Please, they are coming. Millions will die. We cannot fight them. Humans, help us. Lena's heart tightened. We will help you. Humanity does not abandon those in need, she said, her voice steady, inspiring hope in the fragile aliens. The Zilla looked at her with disbelief. Never had a stronger species risked themselves for them before, and yet here were humans, ready to intervene. Suddenly, the sensors picked up a massive fleet approaching, a dark shadow against the stars, ships countless in number, engines roaring silently in space. The human officers gasped. Even Lena could not hide the tension that is enormous. We are outnumbered, but we have the advantage of surprise. Dr. Patel ran calculations rapidly. Their fleet is powerful, but slow, predictable. We can use strategy, clever tactics. We can hold them off. If we are smart, Lena nodded. Prepare the fleet. Every ship, every weapon. We may be the only chance the Zilla have. The human fleet spread out, positioning themselves around the Zilla planet. Shields on, weapons armed. Mark Sloan flew a reconnaissance path, scanning the enemy's numbers and formations, each detail adding to the suspense. The alien survivors watched silently, hope returning to their eyes. Fragile but real, they whispered prayers for the humans, the saviors who arrived too late to save their home, but just in time to save their lives. As the first enemy ships entered the system, lasers cutting through space like streaks of light, humanity prepared for its first contact. The enemy ships fired indiscriminately at the Zilla escape pods, smaller ships destroyed in seconds, panic spreading like wildfire. Lena's voice boomed over the comms. Return fire. Target their engines. Protect the Zilla. Humans maneuvered skillfully, dodging blasts, using fast ships to flank the enemy, showing courage and intelligence no one expected. The enemy paused, confused by humanity's tactics. These humans were different, unpredictable, dangerous. The Zilla leader whispered to their own people, they are strong, stronger than we ever imagined. Maybe they can win. Lena knew the battle was far from over. This was only the beginning. But humanity had already made an impression, a statement. Humans would fight, humans would protect, and humans would not back down. From the edge of the system, a larger force appeared. More ships jumping into real space, engines glowing, a warning to all who dared resist. The human fleet braced, every sensor active, every officer alert, hearts pounding. With the weight of the coming storm, Lena clenched her fist, looking at the stars ahead. Humanity has arrived. We will not fail. And in that moment, the war for the Zilla system began. A test of courage, strategy, and the unexpected strength of humanity. The human fleet hovered at the edge of the Zilla system, engines humming quietly, tension thick. In the cold vacuum of space, Commander Lena Harris walked through the bridge of the flagship Aurora, eyes scanning the displays, mind racing with strategy. The Zilla survivors floated in orbit, fragile ships clinging to hope, waiting for humans to act, their eyes filled with fear and gratitude. The enemy fleet was vast, dark ships stretching beyond the horizon of sensors, their numbers overwhelming, but humanity had one advantage: cleverness. Dr. Ravi Patel gathered the officers around the tactical table, maps of the system projected in glowing light. They have strength, but they lack imagination, he said, pointing at enemy positions. Lena nodded. We will use every advantage we have. Speed, agility, strategy. We will not match them in numbers, but we will match them in mind. The officers murmured, tension mixed with excitement. Humans had never faced an enemy this big, yet they were ready, their courage shining bright. In the darkness, the fleet commanders worked quickly, assigning positions, creating formations that allowed fast ships to flank, slow ships to shield, and weapons to strike with precision. Mark Sloan checked his fighter squad, confident but nervous. We strike fast, hit hard, then fall back. Remember, surprise is our best weapon. Lena's voice rang clear over the comms. This is humanity's moment. We are not just observers, we are defenders. The Zilla depend on us. Do not fail. The crews of every ship felt the weight of those words, hearts pounding, hands gripping controls, anticipation building like a storm. Meanwhile, alien engineers worked alongside humans, surprised at their efficiency, amazed at how organized the humans were. Humans, they think differently, one Zilla whispered to another, watching the fleet move like a living creature, every ship in perfect harmony. Lena smiled slightly. realizing this was what made humanity strong: imagination, courage, and the will to act when others would freeze. Outside the atmosphere of the Zilla planet, scouts reported small movements of the enemy fleet, probing attacks, testing the humans' positions. "They are checking us," Mark said, adjusting sensors. "They don't know what we're planning yet." "That's good. We will use that." Lena's mind raced, devising strategies, imagining the flow of battle, predicting the enemy's moves, planning traps in the cold emptiness of space. She knew every second counted, and one wrong decision could mean the end of the Zilla, the humans, or both. As the sun rose over the horizon of the alien planet, the first warning shots echoed through space, distant but deadly. The enemy was impatient, sending small strike teams to test the defenses, lasers streaking through the void, ships dodging and weaving. Human ships responded swiftly, defensive maneuvers executed perfectly, small victories giving courage to all, showing that numbers alone were not enough. The Zilla watched in awe, whispering to each other, "These humans, they are different. Perhaps they are stronger than their enemies." Lena stood at the command bridge, eyes fixed on the growing fleet, heart steady, mind sharp, knowing that the real battle was about to begin. "Prepare the war plan," she said, her voice calm but firm. "We strike when they least expect it." Humanity fights not just with weapons, but with courage. Every ship powered up, shields shimmering, weapons ready, engines humming like a heartbeat, the calm before the storm. And from the darkness beyond the stars, the enemy fleet moved closer, unaware that humanity was ready, waiting for the moment to change the course of this battle forever. The stars ahead of the Zilla system glowed with a deadly light as the enemy fleet approached, engines roaring like a storm. Commander Lena Harris stood on the bridge of the Aurora, eyes fixed on the sensor displays, every heartbeat echoing through her chest. The enemy was massive, dark ships filling the void, their weapons ready, and their intent clear: destruction. Lena's voice rang out, calmly but firmly. "All ships, prepare for contact. Remember, we fight smart. Humanity will not fall." The first shots fired without warning, lasers cutting through space, streaks of red and blue painting the darkness. Smaller human ships dodged and weaved, using speed and strategy to avoid the deadly beams. Mark Sloan led his squadron on a daring flank, weaving between enemy cruisers, their engines glowing, lasers slicing through the void. Alien allies watched in disbelief. Humans moved differently, unpredictably, dangerous, not relying on brute strength, but on wit and courage. The battle raged fiercely, small skirmishes exploding across the starfield, ships spinning, firing, and dodging. The enemy expected an easy fight, overwhelming numbers. But humans fought with imagination, creating traps, baiting ships into deadly zones. Dr. Ravi Patel monitored the enemy fleet, pointing out weak spots. "Their left flank is exposed. Target the engines, cripple their mobility." Lena nodded, issuing commands quickly, the fleet responding like one organism, precise and coordinated. For a moment, the humans gained the upper hand, small victories stacking, lasers striking the enemy ships, explosions lighting the void. But the enemy was resilient, adapting quickly, their firepower relentless, shields holding strong, their clash far from over. A large enemy cruiser turned its weapons toward the Aurora, blasts shaking the flagship, sending tremors through the hull. Lena gritted her teeth, issuing evasive maneuvers, her crew working flawlessly, skill and courage holding them together. Mid-battle, a mysterious ship appeared at the edge of the system, its design unknown, engines glowing strangely. The fleet paused for a split second, questions flying through every mind: friend or foe, ally or enemy. The Zilla whispered in fear and hope. Could it be help, or more danger? Lena's eyes narrowed. "Stay focused. Don't take your eyes off the enemy," she said, knowing one mistake could be deadly. Humans continued their attack, exploiting weak points, daring moves that the enemy never expected. One squadron rammed through the gap between two cruisers, firing torpedoes into the engines, causing massive explosions. Mark Sloan's voiceover comes shouted, "Direct hit, keep pushing forward." The Zilla, watching the display, began to believe, hope returning to their hearts. Humans were not just soldiers, they were heroes. The battle reached its peak, ships clashing in the void, shields flaring, explosions, Light in the dark, the human fleet moved as one, strategy and courage combining to make the enemy falter. Yet from the far edge of the system, more enemy ships jumped into real space, reinforcements arriving, larger and more numerous. Lena's jaw tightened. This is only the beginning. Humanity will not stop. Prepare for the next wave. And as the first clash ended, both sides regrouped, damaged ships floating, lasers cooling, engines smoking. The Zilla survivors whispered in awe. They are strong. Unlike any species we have ever seen. Humans will fight with us. The stars above Epsilon 7 glimmered with tension. But calm before the next storm, and humanity's fight for the Zilla system was far from over. Each side preparing for a greater, more dangerous confrontation. Humanity's advantage. The battlefield of the Zilla system stretched across the stars, littered with burning ships, debris, and smoke. Commander Lena Harris stood on the bridge of the Aurora, eyes sharp, scanning every sensor, searching for the enemy's weakness. The human fleet, though outnumbered, had survived the first clash, and now they were ready to strike back. Dr. Ravi Patel pointed at the holographic map. Their formations are predictable. They are strong, but rigid. We can use that against them. Lena nodded, her mind working quickly. Divide their forces. Force them to fight in smaller groups. Humanity's advantage is speed and intelligence, not numbers. Mark Sloan and his fighter squad prepared to lead the first strike, their engines glowing, ready to weave through enemy lines. The survivors watched nervously from their orbiting pods, hope flickering in their hearts. Fragile but alive, for the first time, they could believe that humans might turn the battle in their favor. The human fleet moved as one, fast ships flanking, heavy cruisers holding the line, every maneuver precise, every shot calculated. Explosions lit the void as human torpedoes struck enemy engines, crippling large cruisers. Mark's squadron darted through enemy fire, dodging lasers and missiles, striking where the enemy least expected. The alien leader whispered, amazed, "They are clever, stronger than we imagined. Perhaps they can win." The enemy commander growled, "Overcomes. These humans, they fight with a cunning we did not expect. Adjust formations." But it was too late. Humanity had already exploited the weak points, slicing through the enemy with precision. Smaller enemy ships were destroyed first, engines blown apart, then the larger cruisers struggled to respond. Lena watched closely, issuing commands, guiding the fleet like a master chess player moving pieces across a board. Even the Zilla engineers joined in, helping to boost human weapons and shields, surprised at how humans coordinated everything so efficiently. Mark Sloan's voice rang through Coombs. Direct hit on the enemy flagship. Shields failing. Target their weapons next. The enemy faltered, their massive fleet slowing, confusion spreading among their ranks. For the first time, it seemed humanity's courage and strategy might overcome the overwhelming numbers. But suspense lingered. From the edge of the system, more enemy reinforcements were arriving, engines blazing, ships dropping out of hyperspace. Lena's jaw tightened. We will not falter. Humanity fights not just with ships, but with courage, wit, and the will to protect. The fleet prepared, ready to adapt to new threats, shields shimmering, weapons primed, hearts steady. The Zilla watched in awe, their whispers turning to cheers. These humans, they do not give up. They fight for us. They fight for life itself. Human ships now struck with deadly efficiency, taking advantage of the enemy's disorganized formations. Explosions lit the dark, enemy cruisers burning, fighters destroyed, numbers dwindling, the tide of battle shifting. Dr. Patel smiled at the screens. It's working. They are breaking the enemy. Humanity's strategy is winning the day. Lena's voice rang clear. Hold the line. Strike with precision. Humanity will not fail the Zilla. And from the far edge of the system, a massive enemy fleet jumped into real space, engines glowing like fire. The humans braced, knowing the final wave would be the most dangerous. But for now, the Zilla system was alive, hope restored. The enemy faltering under the strength, courage, and intelligence of humanity. And Lena knew, this victory, though incomplete, was proof. Humans were not just survivors, they were defenders. Clever, brave, and unstoppable. The arrival of reinforcements. The Zilla system was a battlefield of stars, fire, and smoke. Commander Lena Harris stood on the bridge of the Aurora, eyes sharp, hands steady on the controls, every heartbeat echoing through the ship. The human fleet had gained ground, crippling the enemy in Part 5, but more reinforcements were arriving, engines blazing like deadly fire. The tension was palpable. Every crew member knew the final clash was at hand. Dr. Ravi Patel pointed at the sensors. "Commander, this new wave is massive, larger than anything before. But we have a plan." Lena nodded, calm but determined. "Every ship in position. We strike together. Humanity fights as one, clever, fast, and fearless." Mark Sloan prepared his squadron, engines humming, weapons primed, ready to weave through enemy fire. The Zilla watched in awe, hope rekindled, their fragile trust in humanity stronger than ever. The enemy fleet surged forward, weapons blazing, lasers cutting through space like rivers of light. Human ships dodged, flanked, and struck with deadly precision, exploiting every weak point discovered in previous battles. Mark's squadron led a daring attack, targeting enemy engines, crippling cruisers, and scattering the fleet. Explosions lit the dark, enemy formations collapsed,